Right, it says we're live. It's saying we're live on here, so give it a couple of minutes and we'll see if we are live. We'll see if I'm live. And if you can hear me all right as well, because this is about you communicating with me. This is about us, we. So it's the live LUF Lounge. That's what it is tonight. Doing it a bit different. You've got me, myself and I. This week, I'm all on my own. My name's Pete Yarwood. I work for a charity in Lancashire called Red Rose Recovery. An absolutely awesome charity made up of some real heroes, some warriors in the true sense of the word, who go to battle for those who are disenfranchised, stigmatised, marginalised on a daily basis. You know, these guys, they advocate for them within Red Rose Recovery. And as a charity, what we've said is we'll provide infrastructure for the Lancashire User Forum to continue to hold a space. It's important, right, that we hold a space and that we influence the discourse in that space. We have conversations, stories, our stories. So if you want to come on tonight into this space, the Lancashire User, let's call it the space programme, but it's not about launching anyone out of the atmosphere. It's about including people into a space. So if you want to be included, hit that button. I don't know which button it is you hit, but I'm sure you can work it out. And the topic is transformation, you know, and stories are really, really important. So I can just tee you up with my story a little bit just from this week. And it was a conversation with a chap called Peter. And the very first thing he said to me was, I'm not a sex offender, you know, I've got insurance against that. And on reflection, I just thought, wow, I wasn't thinking that. But how sad must it be that on first, you know, encounter with somebody, you have to justify that you're not something that's viewed by society as bad and nasty, and you know, dark and dangerous, who would you know. Anyway, you know, before long we started talking about energy, actually, and the universe and positive energy. And it wasn't long before he then started blasting out a tune. And I mean to say, what a beautiful voice. You know, we're going to get him into the Lancashire User Forum at some point. We're going to get him in singing, because he's just got such a beautiful voice and talent and skill. But he's one of those people that has been, like many of us, stigmatised, marginalised. Is in a really special place that's looking after him. And they want to engage with us, the community. And they want to create pathways for their people to connect with purposeful and meaningful activities. You know, that's the whole, like, gambit, but that happens incrementally, bit by bit. So initially, me and a couple of other colleagues are going into that service with the view to upskill them, to put on some training. And before long, he's playing the piano, he's belting out this tune, and the staff teams are all there listening. You know, my colleague is crying, and in a good way. You know, when music affects your soul, it touches you, doesn't it? It reaches you. So he, you know, carried on, and I stayed after everyone went. And one of the staff had said to me, do you know, I've been trying to get him to do that for 6 months. He doesn't generally come out and engage with people. I would like to shout out to the lovely Emily Jane. Emily Jane, you are lovely, and we are going to give you a shout out. So this place, Emily Jane, is not that far from you, and I'm sure you know all about what I'm going to say next. So the staff member was saying to me, what have you done? What have you done to get him singing like that? Because we've been trying for a while. And I'm not sure we did anything. I just think he felt on that given time that he wanted to belt out a tune, and bless us with his skills. But what it did do is it opened up a space to have a conversation. And it's a different kind of conversation that takes place with somebody who has a first-hand lived experience of exactly the same issues that other person is going through. Something magical happens, and I know that pisses people off because they can't quantify it. They can't put the finger on it and say, why can't that be taught? Why does that have to be a lived experience? Well, it just does. And it's backed up with evidence. Something magical happens when you put people who've been where other people are and they're able to empathise from that perspective. There's a quote, keep your wits about you, walk in their shoes. That's the acronym for wits. I nicked that off Mick, who is, by the way, ordaining my partner Emma Daggers next Saturday down in Church on the Streets. Sorry, I just picked that up because I dropped that one in there. Nice and tidy. Anyway, I'm having a conversation with Peter around his skills, not trying to diagnose what's wrong with him, just about his skills, because I know out in the community where people get well and flourish, not in an institution or an organisation or a service, out in the community where people get well, I know there's lots of guys and girls who want to contribute. They want to give something back, and they want to be a part of something that is bigger than themselves, and they understand that there's a program, a process, there's something beautiful and magic that happens, that takes place when you start to give, and the European Economics Foundation did a huge study, and they came up with the 5 ways to well-being, and one of them is about giving. But we're connecting and we're conversing and we're having this conversation about, you've got a top skill, Pete. What would you, if we could facilitate you to perform, would you be up for that? And his answer, I suppose, got me thinking I need to manage his expectations, because first of all, he said, yeah, I just want to sing, Pete. I'd love to sing. I live to sing for people. I'm going to give you a clue here. In this service, born it, by the rivers of Babylon. Who sings that? That's the question for tonight. Come on, I just want to know you're awake and you're watching. So who sings By the Rivers of Babylon? Let me see it in the comments. I'm waiting. By the rivers of Babylon, who sings that? Mr. F.I. Cameron, shout out to you. So the backing singer of Boney M cooked me my breakfast this week, and I'm just saying there's some quality people that sometimes we walk past and we've got no idea because we don't stop to listen to their story and find out a bit about them. So anyway, I'm finding out a bit about Peter, and I'm saying, look, if we could facilitate for you to sing, would you do that? And he was like, yeah. And I'm thinking, on the LUF Lounge, we stream every week, or maybe we're coming out of the virtual space into the face-to-face. Maybe we can connect you up with, we always have musicians at our live lounges and in the community. So I'm thinking along them lines, but I think Peter was off in the hemisphere, thinking big concerts and stuff. So I knew how to manage his expectations, but first of all, the answer was yes. I want to do it. I'd love to be able to do that. I just don't know how to connect the assets. And isn't that what asset-based community development is about? Fundamentally, assets that aren't connected becoming connected. And for that, we need connectors, don't we? We need people who can connect that. And I have, as do many others, a real good knowledge of assets in the community. And, you know, I asked him another question. What do you want, Peter? What do you want? And he said, well, I want to give all the money I raise to your charity. And it was like, no, what do you want? Not what can you do for us? But what is it you want? What's your goal? What's your aim? And he said, I would like to lay a track down. Straight off the bat, I went and had a conversation with a colleague who spoke to the key worker, who starts to put a plan together, because we've just brick funded various musical talented people in the community. You know who you are. I don't have to shout you out. You know who you are. Your door's going to be knocking very, very soon, because Peter wants to have a look at that space and what it looks like, and he wants to lay a track. And I think that is something we can help him with, and that'd make such a beautiful person so happy. But you can see why Peter's stigmatised and marginalised just when you look at him. And we teach this on some of the training. We've got the speaker boot camp. And, you know, it's great to see the staff going to rally round and make that happen, because assets in the community are being connected. And that's how people get well, alongside all the other clinical aspects and nuts and bolts and intricacies of the complicated system that we function in. But we have definitely got a part to play in that. And our part is a beautiful one. So Becky Rose Duffy, hi Peter, you're amazing, so proud of you. Wow. Well, thank you for that. I'm pretty amazing, aren't I? You're amazing too, Becky Rose Duffy, and I'm proud of you. In fact, I'm proud of our leadership team. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight before we get into the subject matter of transformation. Emma G's watching. That's a cool name, innit? Emma G. Claire, Samir, hi Samir, Kim from Red Rose, Chris, you're there, man, you're there. Joanne, there's loads of guys watching. So a quick update. Some of the most well-respected academics, I don't mean just in the UK, I mean nationally, not even nationally, globally, some of the most well-respected academics write within their papers, based on evidence and studies, that when you've been in recovery for around about 5 years plus, you are twice as much likely to contribute, to give something back to your community, to society, unconditionally. You know, you're just a beautiful asset within your community. You're twice as likely to do that, above and beyond what you do in your day job. You're twice as likely to do that. So I think that message needs a share and a shout out. And I mean, I don't know what it means to share this to my story, but I have done. But I'm not sure I know what it means. Anyway, I think that just needs a shout out on its own, because you want people in recovery in your community. You want them there, because they're twice, and this is what the academics say, they're twice as likely than people who aren't in recovery or aren't addicts, just ordinary people, to give back, to contribute. And that's what the guys in the Lancashire User Forum have done over the pandemic. They have contributed every week on a Saturday at 5 o'clock, not 9 to 5 weekday, on a Saturday of an evening, every single week since the very first lockdown. They've been there with teams of people, and some of the stories, the guys, you know, they're real heroes. The giants upon whose shoulders I'm stood today. And they've said things like, you know, I was really nervous, but I did it. And I'm so glad I did it, because it was a buzz and I felt something. I'm alive, you know, and I faced the fear that I had, and I feel better for it. I've grown as a result of it. And it's just beautiful, because we all know there's not a nice side to social media as well, isn't there? You know, there's some, you know, unhealthy aspects to it. So it's really great that we've got teams of people who come on every weekend and give their time. So, you know, I wanted to say we've compiled about 3 hours worth of footage. I mean, we're talking, we've reached over 1 million people now in that time. We've got the analytics, we've got the data, within that space we've reached 1 million people. But in terms of the footage, the hours, it equates to about 187 days. It's a lot. It's a lot of. I'm not sure, was that 187 days or was it 187 hours? Might have been 187 hours actually. But when you add it all up in terms of the amount of people who viewed it, it then starts to go into something like 300 over the space of a year, man. People have been watching and listening and partaking. Nice one, Stephen. You're awesome. You're a force for good. Keep doing what you're doing for those family members. They really need guys like you to hold that space. Jacqueline, hi. Sam, hi. Jason Zadecki. Cool name. Daz Grundy, John Cahill, all you guys, more power to you. So, where was I? Completely lost what I was saying. So we've got all our footage now from, you know, stories of hope, stories of inspiration, stories of triumph over adversity, people's skills and abilities, people's experiences, the challenges, and we've squashed it all down to 3 hours of footage that is a feat in itself. And what we want to do with that is we want to make sure that, you know, the prisoners who sometimes can't have access to what we've got can in a different way. You know, we can get a bit of recovery into the prisons so people can see it. They know what it looks like. They know where to go, and they know who to contact. And you know who, I mean, I've just had a phone call off a prison officer this week, again, you know, from a prisoner, and I'm really passionate about the prisoners, because I know there's so many of them who are in there who don't want to be, who sometimes have chosen to. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they've purposefully and manfully got themselves arrested because life in prison is actually better than life on the street, and they don't want to die. And it's a sad you know, it's a sad indictment on society and where we're at, when some people view prison as a better alternative than life as they know it, you know. And it's also a sad but true fact that I count myself as one of them. I would not be alive only for the prisons. You know, the prisons kept me alive. They looked after me when I was at my most broken and vulnerable. So why would I not want to go and give a bit back to them? And how we're thinking of doing it is saying, you know, together we've got so much to offer, so much going on, and we want to share that with you. So, you know, we've got a top bloke. I won't drop his name or embarrass him or anything like that. We've got a top bloke who's quite senior in the prison system, who is very well connected and has offered to help us get that products, that 3 hours live LUF Lounge, condensed out of 187 hours down to 3 1-hour shows, and he said he can get them through the prison service, through Max Spielman, which is a contract that's delivered inside HMP Thorncross, and he can get them printed off and burnt off. And that's the vision, that's the hope. And those people that are behind the door who, you know, have access to it one way or another, a PlayStation or whatever, we can get them DVDs in there. So I know some of our guys are awesome when it comes to getting resources and saying to people, do you want to sponsor a few DVDs that are going into the prison? Because you know what, it makes sense if people get into recovery, they stop offending, don't they? It's easy to get your head around that. But even in the sense of, it's just the right kind thing to do, to show somebody who's in pain, who just does not know or see a way out, to show them it and to say, you know what, there's a load of people, multiple pathways, getting well, who are in it and saying, you know, we've got something for you here. We'll support you, and that's something I wanted to feed back to you guys. So I don't know, does anyone want to jump in this space and have a discussion with me about it? But you can. I think there's one of these buttons here that you press, because I've given you a few subject matters and they all revolve around the same thing. Transformation. You know, we was viewed as stigmatized and marginalized, but we're not anymore. We're not. We've got a stake. We've got skin in the game, man. We've got skin in the game. So who wants to chew the fat with me for a bit? And if you don't, that's okay as well. But I think it's important that we do, in these times, we do offer that opportunity for people to come and say, you know what's on my mind, this. Because we're here to serve. We're not here to we're not here to govern you and tell you what you've got to do. We're here to serve and create opportunities. And I remember having a conversation with a couple, sat in a room, quite intimidating, Hutton Police Station, HM headquarters, you know, and there was 5 police officers, all had lots of shiny pips on their lapels, and it was just little old me in the middle of them. And they were saying, you know, one of them just stuck the nut right on me and went, so come on then, how are you going to reduce reoffending? And I said, I'm not going to reduce reoffending. In fact, matter of fact, I'm not even trying to reduce anything. We've got a lack of enough. I want to create something. I want to create opportunities for people to have a different experience, to have a different life. A byproduct of that is, while they're having them experiences, they're not running out of Sainsbury's with coffee and bacon. But that's not my starting point to reduce reoffending. My starting point is to introduce people to community opportunities and other people who are travelling a similar footpath and doing well, you know, as a result of it, doing well and living life on life terms. And that doesn't mean it's all happy and always fantastic, you know, because life's tough, innit? And transformation is tough. And what we know is it's even tougher if you think you're going to do that on your own. So what we've got is Lots of people who say, well, do it shoulder to shoulder. You know, we're here together. We're in this space together. We know what time it is. You know, we're not wet behind the ear. We're a good 10 years deep into it. You know, we're a decade on from the 2010 drug strategy. We've gone round the model multiple times. So yeah, Michael Dransfield wants to be in your video. Michael, it is a pleasure to invite you, and I just press approve. So, hello, Michael Mansfield. Hiya. It just said it's adding you. So, hiya, Michael. Come on into the live LUF Lounge. I've pressed the button, Michael, so it's not. It's saying it's connecting. Michael, there you are. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good.
It's a bit sticky tonight.
What I was going to ask you, Peter?
Yeah.
I've been around the recovery for 10 years. Sometimes doing better, sometimes, but over the last 4.5 months, I've been completely clean and really getting into it, doing the steps with a sponsor. I've got a sponsor over in Manchester. Speak to him every day, and I noticed a few weeks ago that you were talking about places for, like, you know, people to help, lived experience and all that. But what I've got,
yeah,
I know that I'm on the Isle of Man, but at the moment I'm retired now, really, so I'm free to travel. And I was wondering if there's anything you could offer me over there, to like a bit of training or something. I've done all the rehab 10 years ago, and I know a lot about, a lot of the.
Yeah.
There's not many avenues that I haven't been down with it. I've been to prison, been bankrupt with it. Loads of life experience that I thought I could. Well, I am in the position.
How'd you get from the Isle of Man to? Are you what? Because you're on an island, right? Educate me. Come on, I'm not.
Yeah. No. I just hop on a boat, 3.5 hours, and I'm in Evesham.
So in 3.5 hours, you can be at Evesham near Morecambe from the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
That just in itself is blown my mind. Just for the people watching, what's it like in the Isle of Man?
Isle of Man is.
And I've got your question. Big problem. Answer it.
There's a big problem with drugs and alcohol, with it being an island, and a lot of it gets swept under the carpet because the Isle of Man is.
Oh, no way. It was just about to, like, give us some rich intelligence then, Monty, on the Isle of Man. So come on back, Michael, because we want to talk to you. But to answer your question, you've got internet. As long as you've got a strong internet connection, you can go onto our website, Red Rose Recovery, and you can ask to become a member. Yeah. And once you become a member and sign up as a member, that puts you in a category where you can access our training. So I would advise you to do that, and we are developing a comprehensive training suite with multiple products, accredited. So catch a hold of this. This isn't just for you, Michael. This is for all you guys, to go onto the website, sign up as a member, and take advantage of the training offer. It's accredited. Yeah, and some of it is virtual, and some of it is face to face. So yeah, I think, you know, the other thing, no, I won't talk about that. I'll do it and then talk about it. But I think, you know, it's not hard in this day and age to connect people if they've got an internet connection with other people who've got a lived experience. And I don't just mean within substance misuse. I mean, you know, I'm thinking of the Lex leaders, for instance, and they have multiple multiple movements of people who have got different lived experience. So drug and alcohol criminal justice is one. You know, adoption and care homes might be another. Immigration might be another. BME communities might be another, but they're all examples of what can be done when you mobilize groups of people with a lived experience to then go and bring about social change, you know, the change you want to see, because that's what has attracted significant funding across the UK recently. It's called Changing Futures. And to change people's futures, a particular group of people, you're going to have to change the system. You're going to have to change the way you do things, systemic change, because it's the system that sometimes says, well, these are hard to reach people. And I know, you know, some people have the view that they're not hard to reach. It's the system that's hard to navigate. So if you want to talk, I mean, Michael, there's loads of here we go, he's put it in again. So it's adding you, Michael. It's adding, just let me, you're back with us there. You was just
I was
about
just about to, yeah, the island has got a big drug and alcohol problem. Now it's a beautiful little island, and because it's the financial sector, a lot of these problems are swept under the carpet because the Isle of Man wants to portray to the world that this is a lovely little island. But heroin is rife over here, and it obviously dealers come over from Liverpool, and if the Isle of Man constabulary do their best, but to keep a lid on it, but it's rife. And if they take a dealer off the streets within 24 hours, there's somebody over from Liverpool to fill his boots. You know,
well,
it's a big.
That's a supply and demand issue, isn't it? You're talking about tackling a solution by, you know, taking the supply away, but there's always going to be a demand, isn't there? And that's what I think
What
people use drugs in the first place. Let's start there. Let's meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
Andy Boyer says it's like that all over the country.
Yeah.
It's
The
not unique
services as well. No. I mean, my sister. I've just been talking to my sister. She's in Huddersfield, and she works with Huddersfield Police, and she's not a police officer. She works in social services, but she's involved with all the young kids on the county lines and that. You know, and it's mental into the drug situation all over the country. You know, but obviously now that we're through the other side of it all, and we're within recovery and trying to find better ways, like you are doing, to reach people who want to get a clean life and away from it, you know, and make it more.
I think,
you know,
certainly we want to get to a place where if somebody asks for help, that help is there at hand. They're not told, you know, you'll have to go and ask somebody else for it. Or you can't get help here because we only do that, you know. I think where we want to get to is there's like that no wrong door approach. So somebody asks for help and it's like, we'll help you, you know, and if we can't meet that need, we will connect you up with the people who can, because we've got that knowledge of who's the expert in that particular area, and we've got the relationship with them, as opposed to, you know, we've adopted that crazy idea that we can do it all and everyone else is shit and we're great, so come to us and we'll sort everything out. And it's never going to work as an approach. What I suppose is a more enlightened approach is to say that we're stronger together and everybody has got something to contribute, and let's work hard on overcoming our differences. Let's focus on what our similarities are, and let that be the defining glue, not our differences that will create fragments and shatter. You know, we want to be stronger, and I think we can only do that when we start to accept, you know what, there's some areas where we can improve, and you might have spotted that, and that's all right, you know, to hear that from people, because that's how you learn, right? And going back to the New European Economics Foundation's 5 ways to well-being, learning is one of them, innit? So somebody gives you feedback and you pop it off and don't want to listen.
I went away to rehab 10 years ago in a bad state, and when I came away from rehab, I was a lot better than I went, but I still wasn't ready to stop it. I couldn't imagine a life without drinking. And then I started getting onto a few different platforms about 12 months ago.
Mike,
people like yourself.
Mike, can I just shout out a few guys here, because there's a few comments. So we've got Chris Rowlands, we've got Mike Up, Willie McBlain. Willie, listen, there's a little button at the bottom of your screen with a symbol of a man. Press it and it'll ask you if you want to come on and have a conversation. In fact, I might be able to just press you. I can see you there. No, I can't. I don't know how to invite people on. Sorry, John. I mean, Michael. So, Willie, come on, Willie. Here we go. Willie, let's approve. Okay. Right, John, I'm going to have to bring Willie on because we've talked for a good bit. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Is that okay?
Yeah, all right, Peter. Take care, Peter. Bye.
Good speaking to you.
Yeah.
Take care. Right, Willie. I'm adding you, Willie McBlain. I hope it's Willie McBlain and not someone pretending to be Willie McBlain, because there's only one Willie McBlain. Come on, Willie. I've pressed it and it's saying we're adding you, Willie. Andy Boyer says, addicts in recovery are the most compassionate people anywhere if they're working a spiritual program. Bang on, mate. Come on, let's see where Willie's gone. Right, Willie's not there, but Natalie Singleton. Okay, Natalie, I'm going to hit the approve button. Hello, Natalie. Welcome to the Live LUF Lounge. You're connecting in. Hello, is this your first time, Natalie?
No, the other month. Well, the other month I did a main share. Oh wait a
Right.
minute, my side for that. Yeah, the other month I did a main share. I actually came to one of your about boundaries and that.
Oh, that's right. Now I
Yeah,
remember. Yeah. Hiya, Natalie. Hiya, how are
yeah.
you?
I'm all right. I'm doing quite well. You know, just getting by really. Wait a minute, what am I doing in here? No. I don't want to do that. Silly bloody technology. It's fantastic, but it's annoying. Ain't it?
You're learning to
So
work.
yeah, definitely. You know, but yeah, just me chatting, having a chit chat. I'm actually in my cooking clothes. You know, so and I've got two children in the house that are mine, and about eight other teenagers. We've just had to
So
do pizzas for them all.
it's full on for you tonight, Natalie. Where are
It
you
is.
dropping in from? Where are you Skyping in from?
I'm in Morecambe.
Beautiful Markham, eh? Beautiful part of the
Yeah,
world.
at times.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't know what to expect. I came up to deliver some training with you guys a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week?
Yeah.
And I was blown
Yeah.
away, really humbled, because what you've got up in the north, there was about 20 of yous.
Mm.
You've got a real strong network of people who are compassionate, who are there
Yeah.
to learn and give and connect. And
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing. And, you
Mm.
know, we're not always aware, are we, at what we've got until someone points it out. And me and Emma was talking, and Shelley, on the way home, to say, wow, they've really turned it around in the north. They've got, you know, numbers of people who are all connected, who are all supporting each other, and who are
Mm.
hungry to progress.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know, and the thing is, I've heard people, I've read this and I'm hoping I'm going to get this right. And it really took, because the thing I can't stand is like internal controversy where everybody, it's that whole, the people in the house fighting the outside world, and then the people from the town fighting another town, then the people in the country are fighting another. We're all just human beings when you accept that. We all come from different backstories, and addiction doesn't discriminate. And a lot of like what's going on now is people saying, I'm looking at this situation from a place of privilege, and people are taking that really personally, but it's more of them actually admitting, I can understand where you are coming from. And I quite like that because they've not been in that place before. But when it comes to addiction and everything like that, we've all been there. We all stick together. We all, doesn't matter where we've come from or where we've been or anything like that, we've still all got the same problem, and the fact that we all want to do something about it. And again, that's really humbling, like you said.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, when you've found a solution to that, it's important to share that with someone from a
Mm.
perspective, you know, you can take it or leave it, but we're still going to be here. It's not going to change who we are. And
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
you know,
Boundaries,
but
well, aren't they?
sorry.
I was saying boundaries are important, because
Yes.
that was what one of the training projects was. That's what we've got,
Yeah.
various training packages.
I was actually speaking about this last night at a meeting. Was it last night? Yeah. In that, like in my addiction, I never had any boundaries because I was actually a kind of validation junkie. I wanted everyone to be okay with me, Mike, when I was in addiction, probably out of guilt and shame. But um, it's this like I've been in a conversation with somebody who's quite close, and they're talking about something that I actually know a lot about this person, and I said to myself, Is it necessary? Is it true? Is it going to have consequences? And I actually turned around and went, I don't feel comfortable in having this conversation just at the moment. And that was very well received and very, and I think when people can just say, know what they want and say it and put it into action, no say action.
Yeah.
So, and that's...
Oh.
Yeah, so, and that boundaries thing helped me as well, kind of find out. I asked that boundary course helped me kind of ask myself internally, do I like this? Do I not? Am I comfortable with this? Am I not? And I put myself in their position, it's, it might be a bit off track. I'll just really tell you a story that I wouldn't have done in addiction. Got on the bus yesterday. I'll show you. This addiction. Sorry, this tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. See if you can read that. No, is it? It's backwards, isn't it?
It's going back to front on my screen. I don't know how to flip it. Hold on.
But it's actually Latin. No. It's Latin. For I will die on my feet before I live on my knees. About addiction. And I was just on the way to go and get it, and I was quite loud and bubbly with my partner on the bus and that, up at the top at the back. And a girl came on, young lass, and she's talking on the phone. She's effing and jeffing. It's 10 o'clock, and she's going, "Will you CUNT shut the up?" And she's really giving it some welly. You're being too loud and everything. And I thought, maybe it wasn't the right thing. Didn't shout anything to her, just antagonised her like, I'm going to do what I want,
Yeah.
And then I heard her say something, which was, she was obviously having a bad day, and she was on the phone with somebody, and she turned around and said, I just feel like going to drown myself or something. And that's when I kind of stopped and went, I don't know what she's going through. I don't know what she's going through. She's having a bad day. So I actually went up to her and I said, sorry, I apologise if we were being loud. You must be having a really bad day. And she went, and she chatted to me still on the bus. And it just makes you think, like, people might act out, but are they acting out or are they reacting?
Wow. So you want to get deep, do you?
Oh, sorry.
You want to go deep on Saturday?
I just didn't. Oh, right. Well, I could tell you something funny if you like.
Go on then.
Politics.
Hey, yeah. Just on that then.
I'm just on a meeting, babes.
All right, I was trying to stick the kids for fun.
I think we should, and I know I'm not speaking for any particular pathway here. I'm just speaking as an individual. I think politically, we should have a voice. Our voice should ring out. We should be signed up to vote. I know many of our guys don't have the means to do that because for one reason or another, they might not have ID, they might have moved various locations multiple times and it's hard to get on the voters poll. They might be in supported accommodation and can't register as to vote in there. But I don't know, I just know from my perspective, it's important that my vote counts. And I think, when we're talking about mobilising what used to be huge numbers of people, we've got to get there again. We're not there. I think we should be encouraging them to vote, not to say, vote a particular way, but to get interested on issues that affect them and to get political about it. Because otherwise,
well, I mean, I will say that's all good in our generation. But the thing is, I've got a 15-year-old son who couldn't care toffee about politics because it's not aimed at like that kind of generation. I think a lot of it I do like a lot of like metaphor kind of things, and the thing is, Tyler, I'm on a meeting. Sorry about that. That's all the teenagers.
Bring
It's
him
like a fable.
in.
Bring her in. Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't. Oh God, he'll do me. I've got about 8 of them here. A kind of like fable message, and I heard this, and this can go for addiction or politics or anything. I thought it was brilliant. One day, a woman, say about my age, is cutting the end of the lamb before she puts it into the oven, and her husband turns around and says, "Why do you cut the end off the lamb? Oh, you told it.
Go on. Go on.
Oh, you want me to say it? Cut the end off the lamb." And she said, I don't know. My mum used to do it. And he said, right, ring your mum. Ring your mum. I really want to know where this is coming from. So she rings her mum and she goes, "Mum, why did you used to cut the lamb, the end of the lamb off?" And she went, "My mum used to do it." So they all get on this group chat and everything like that. And when they actually find the source of it, the grandmother turned around and said, "Well, our oven was too small to fit the whole leg of lamb in, so I cut the end off." And it's amazing how something that made sense so long ago, people are still just doing it for absolutely no rhyme, no reason, and no questioning it at all.
Well, I think that is a beautiful metaphor to think about, are we doing things just because other people have done them, or are we actually thinking about it and logically understanding, what you could say, why do I have this view of the world? What are my values?
Yeah, that story's meant a lot. Yeah.
They're my values. So I'm going to shout out Willie McBlain. Let's have a go at bringing you back in, Willie. Because if you're still there, let me check. You're still there. You're still watching. I know you're there, Willie. We want to hear from you. So press the button, Willie, and we'll get you back in. But Natalie, I think you're right. I think we need to start thinking harder about and having discussions about things that affect us, and not just blindly, robotically putting one foot in front of the other without rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of... Go on.
Stephen Leonard has said, your MP represents you whether you vote or not. Make them, and it says, he stopped there. I think he's going to say make them work. Make them work.
Yeah, work for you.
But yeah, all of us can go to our MPs. We can write to our MPs. We can contact our MPs. That's what they're there for. That's their job. So Willie's in. Natalie, I'm gonna say goodbye to you tonight.
Yeah, thank you for letting me join in.
It's been great chatting with you, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully.
Much love on. Bye.
Bye-bye. Right, I'm gonna approve you now, Willie. So you just come in. It's saying it's adding you, Willie. So I don't think you have to do anything. I'm not sure. Help him out, guys. What does he have to do to get on? Because it's just flashing on my screen. So what have you got to do to get on, Willie? Do you just come on? Or do you press something? So come on, Willie, I've added you. So you should be connecting now. Can't bring Willie McBlain on the camera. There's already a guest on this broadcast. Right, well, that's not true. No answer from the video live. So press it again, Willie. Press it again. Oh, it looks like you've gone, mate. Looks like Willie's gone. Oh, well, we tried. And it is, we've been chatting well, I've been chatting for an hour with a couple of you guys. So I will say, Natalie, when you come on, it just went mental with love hearts and thumbs. There's a lot of love for you out there in the community. Let me just check again. Is Willie in there? So yeah, Natalie's back. It says Natalie Singleton is watching. Natalie, when you came on, it just went mental with thumbs up and love heart. So loads of love for you in the community. And Willie, it's a shame. We've tried to get you on tonight. I don't know how to do it. But you have got your laptop. Please say you're watching on the laptop we got for you. And if you want to read Willie's book, you can go to the website. If you want to join some of the training sessions, go to the website, Red Rose Recovery, www.redroserecovery.org.uk, sign up as a member, and then apply for some brick funding, apply for some training, connect with some of the groups online, some of the face-to-face projects. There's loads of stuff going on. There's no excuse. But I will say, this part is about life. You know, you go, if you need your treatment, if you need your clinical interventions, we know how to support you to get that. But you need to get on with your life as well. And it's not one or the other. It's bespoke, isn't it? It's together. So right, here we go. Willie McBlain, I've approved you. We're having one last go to get Willie on. And it's flashing now. It's saying that we're adding you. Come on, Willie. Willie. No answer from the video guest, so it's like you're not answering me, Willie, man. Anyway, that's me. Unless you've got any more questions, there is no cookie cutter recovery. Unless you've got any more questions, I'm gonna hit the road tonight. It's gone 6 o'clock, and our lad, well, it's not, it's nearly 6 o'clock. Our lad has just come back, so I want to make sure he's had a fabulous night. I know one of them's had a night out, and he's still with mum, but one of them's come back, so I'm going to check on a bit of family time. So here's me from the LUF leadership signing out, saying, one, before we send our footage into the prison, we will make sure we air it to the community. It's okay. Willie's just come in the comments saying, I can't get on, Pete, sorry. Well, that's fine, Willie. You tried, and God loves a trial. Any other like announcements? I think that's the biggest one, really, that as a LUF leadership, we've made sure that we've got our, you know, our t-shirts, our banners, our memorabilia. We've got our budget in order. We need to have discussions about camp. We need to have going next year. We need to have discussions about the Drink and Drug News Conference that we always attend. You know, we need to find out of those guys when that starts again. We're pulling a plan together for the face-to-face meetings to mitigate against any risk. And the minibus is broken, so that's a quick news flash for you as well. So Chris Rowlands is saying, we need a minibus for St Anne's, please. Well, absolutely, yeah, we do, because the one that we've got is bust. It won't start. So listen, here's me tuning out saying you guys are awesome, and if anyone ever tells you any different, just keep walking, man, because you're awesome, and you've got everything you need inside. You just might need to get around the right people, and if you're struggling to do that and you need a lift, then shout up, you know, and we'll connect you in, we'll point you in the right direction, or we'll do what needs to be done. Lots of our guys love going the extra mile. Have you not read the newsletter? What's out? They've just done a 15-mile walk from Preston to St Anne's and raised, I forget exactly how much they've raised, but good night and God bless. Take care, and that's it from me. Bye bye.